There you go. So here's Nodin, and this is our 4th session. So the day before I had used the stick to go through and touch his body. And so today I thought I would just probably use just my hand and see how that would go. So again, starting off the session for him, kind of keeping things a little quiet, just with the touch and then hanging out. He's pretty content with me touching his forehead. So I tend to teach my horses that that's a reward, is by rubbing the forehead, because again, I can get some little releases sometimes with the facial nerves around there, but you can see still a little worried on the right side. And so I'm going to go back on the left. And I'm just trying to see if I can get an itchy spot. He's quite furry, and it's still pretty warm in Florida. So he hasn't let go yet. Once I can really get that itchy spot where they just are turning their head and putting their lip, then you kind of are really working in the friend zone per se. But we're not quite there yet. We're still working on it. But he is letting me rub and touch pretty good. So now we're just going to work on doing a little bit of moving our feet. Working on a little bit of that follow. And then seeing where he'll let me touch. That was pretty good. He got a little worried and moves away, but nothing too bad. And then working down his front leg a little bit. Again, his thing is to back away, which is totally fine with me. But that was really good. So we're going to go for a little walk and a little rest here. And then going back to the left side. And you can see he's just a little bit better. He's still worried, but it's a little bit better with my touch. And you can see there I used my elbow to block him a little bit. But working on touching around that forearm, just getting him comfortable with that. And then I also was able to feel that he had some pretty gnarly muddy mats around there in the armpit area, which he was a really good boy for letting me touch that. You could see I had a really nice lick and chew after that, and I was kind of a little distracted with my students, so he had a break, and then I came back with the hairbrush. And he's handling that pretty good. The sound again worries him a little bit. But he also seemed like he was a little itchy in his mane. So sometimes that can help you out. But I sped this up for you guys. Again, kind of brushing their mane helps. You just take that time hanging out. Them getting used to a little bit of different feelings in their body and nothing bad is happening. So that's good. I'm just going to walk forward a little bit. So now I'm going to see if he will let me trim his mane. He was pretty good about me brushing it. I'm going to start with just my 2 hands, which he was pretty good because I did a lot of this yesterday. So he's not too worried about that. So I'm just going to start by brushing him again. And then once I feel like we're both a little bit comfortable, I'm going to start to trim. Sometimes the sound of the trimming the mane can worry them, but then I follow it up with a rub every time. So I sped this up a little bit for you guys. And you'll see I'm going to start to do the trim, and I'll just do a couple of cuts, and he seems okay with that. So then I'm able to go through, and he's handling it really, really well. And so I was really, really pleased with that. And then I just let him have some more time. He took a deep breath there. And now I'm just going to really spend time rubbing on those facial nerves. And again, I sped it up for you guys. And it's nice when he wants to kind of come in a little bit and sniff me. And I like how relaxed he is at the moment. The head is getting a little bit more level. And he's really getting a little softer in his body. So then I go through and just do a couple more rubs. And I had found actually something in his eye. And he was a very good boy because I think it was a piece of hay. So I was really working on trying to get it out, and I was able to get it out, and he let me. But you guys can see it was a fairly big piece of hay that was stem of hay that had somehow got in his eye. So I was glad I was able to get that out. Keep an eye and make sure he didn't get a scratch or anything, but so far it looks pretty good, but I'm glad I was able to get that out. So now I'm going to go back to seeing if I can touch a little bit further. Again, he's a little bit worried. You guys can't really see where I'm rubbing, but I'm just rubbing, and he's like, okay. I'm going to go through on the other side. And you'll see I have kind of the rope on my left hand, which is a good practice. They get used to then seeing the rope up over on their shoulder some. And just working on the touches. He was really good about me touching his flank there. That was really good. I'm just going to let him have a moment. It's nice. He's starting to come in a little bit. Handling his face rubs. And he's handling the two hands pretty well. Again, going near the flank area. And that was pretty good. He just gets a little worried and then moves a little bit. So then I'm going to go back to the right side, do the same thing. Work around that flank area a little bit. He's handling it really well. And again, his body feels pretty good. Sometimes you can like touch their body and it just balls up, but he's not really doing that, so that's nice. And so back off of that because I thought that was pretty good. And then just coming in, you can see he's not as pushing his body so far away from me. He's getting a little bit more comfortable with me in that space. So I was really pleased with him for this session. You can see I'm trying to find some itchy spots. And then he is really cute little cuddle here, but he was a good boy.